Hello and welcome to Star Citizen Sunday with me, Ryan, aka Mac. This is a weekly show which covers everything from the world of Star Citizen over the past week. Links to everything discussed can be found in the description below, so let's get on with it. This week, the Hurricane goes on concept sale. We see a step-by-step creation of a flying spider creature, plus a sneak peek of the Aurora revamp. So the top news of the week is that the Anvil Hurricane is the latest concept sale. This is a small fighter fitted with a heavy loadout. It's a two-seater ship as well. I have done a separate video on this, which can be found in the description below. And on another note, the Star Citizen Sunday next week will be on Monday. It'll be Star Citizen Monday, as I'll be away over the weekend. In the Star Citizen newsletter this week, they say Star Citizen was on prime display at the Amazon Lumberyard booth at GDC. The Hurricane was revealed, as we know. They wanted to make sure that it brought something new and unseen to the fighting table, or the fighter ship table. Soon there's going to be a video with some updated subscriber perks. They're working away on 2.6.2. It's mostly polish and balance changes, but there will be an added feature which didn't make it into 2.6.1. And finally, we got to see the revamped, sleeker, more aerodynamic Aurora, and it is looking fantastic. So in Around the Verse this week, it was from the LA studio. And their update, first of all, with the tech content team, they are working on the new damage system. Some ships are using them now, some of them need to be added. They're also working on a physics-driven destructible behavior to add that to item 2.0. I assume this will help with the components being able to destroy and get repaired. Plus the facial idols for pilots. Now the tech design team are prototyping some upcoming features for gameplay. They're also working on the interacting system to control objects within the game world, sort of how you manipulate them. They're also looking into how players can control properties of items to manage their signals, so things like how power is managed to shields, weapons and thrusters, helping pave the way to stealthy gameplay. They're deep into the setup of the Cutlass Black, the Buccaneer and the revamped Aurora. They're updating the ship's stat page as well to include regular updates of any changes, which is, finally getting onto. I really want to see that, and it looks, from what we've seen on the concept of it, it looks pretty good. In engineering, they're making progress on the object container streaming. They're changing some of the CryEngine code to radically increase the amount of content that they can put into the game without sacrificing performance. They're also replacing the old prefab system in hangars and shops in preparation for this. They're working on the new scanner gameplay, hopefully helping to reveal more objects. Great for the smuggler and law enforcement gameplay. They're also working on lighting states to provide more context to areas to reflect certain situations, so low power, for example. In the character team, they have moved further on with new outfits, in particular for Squadron 42. They've got lots of deck crew outfits. Some of these outfits will allow the crew to work on the exterior of ships, but the Explorer spacesuit has moved on greatly. It's coming in-game very, very soon. They're also working on the Marine and Outlaw Heavy Armor class. They have now moved on to 3D concept for the Outlaw, and the Heavy Marine is in the engine, and it looks amazing. Anyway, after this, they spoke in depth on Spectrum. Now, I am working on a video, as I've said, which will go out later, just showing you how to use it. They designed the engine to be more modern, so things like trending threads and notifications. They want Spectrum to be in-game and out, so helping set up games and parties before you even get into the game, so you can be at work, talking to each other and getting a whole raid set up. They decided to create something which integrates all of the benefits of the current communication platforms, but it needs to be unique to Star Citizens. It will be usable on multiple things, so you can have lots of tabs open on the PC, on the tablet, on the phone, all at the same time. And eventually there'll be things like asking the developers in real time. Obviously, one of the big ticket items they want to get sorted is the mobile app. But they also want a complete communication system with voice. So, for example, if you're in a ship, you could have two channels open. One of them is for players, well, your crew who are manning the stations on your ship, and the other one is for a PA system, so everyone else on board can be heard, and you can switch between the two, which is excellent. So you can talk to your crew or your securities team, and then if you wanted to talk to the rest of the ships or your passengers that you may be transporting, or even boarders who are trying to get to you, you could switch between them and talk, putting them off, basically. Spectrum will replace the current forums and the XMPP chat. Very, very cool system. I suggest just trying it out, getting used to it, because it's best to get in there early before they've added the new systems. It makes it a little less complicated. Anyway, finally, the sneak peek was the Hurricane, but we have seen this already. So this week's Star Citizen Happy Hour was a little change from what is usually happening. We had Josh Herman, who is the character art director, and he designed a creature live on the stream. During the creation of this concept, they also had votes during the show to guide its development. They used ZBrush, which is a digital sculpting package, And they put a vote on the CIG threads beforehand on what to create. The most popular was a flying or a spider that could fly, but also an honourable mention was a reptilian hound, which we may see one day. But the votes that was travelled through it all, I'll just put it in the background, sped up, so you can watch it. The first one was friendly or aggressive, and the vote that one was aggressive. After that was whether it's predator or prey, and it was prey. How many legs? Between 6 to 10, and they voted for 9. Whether or not it would have a stinger, grabby hands, or a single poker, and the vote won with stinger, but it still has its grabby hand thing. The size of it was next, and how big, so from small, medium, large to huge, and huge one. And then finally, how many eyes? Did it have a few, a bunch, or all of them? And it had all of the eyes, so it's a huge flying spider with a long stinger to the rear and grabbing appendages to the front. A very, very scary looking creature, and yeah, it's going to be one of those planets that you would avoid. But it was an amazing show, very, very cool. I really enjoyed watching the creation of this, but very awkward at times, as you'll see later on. Anyway, that was Happy Hour. Let me know your thoughts, guys. I personally loved it. So also this week, there was a Something Every Tuesday post titled Finding Fiona, which they're speaking about an inverse celebrity, plus Lawmakers, which focused on the Magnus system. So that brings us to the end of the show. Thank you for watching, and thank you to our subscribers, plus a massive thank you to our patrons as you make this possible. If you like what we do and want to help us make it better, follow the link in the description to our Patreon page to learn more.